Welcome back to Minis for Pennies, the show based entirely on me being a complete tightwad. I'm your skinflint host, Poor Andy, aka the Dungeon Miser, and this week's episode is all about one of my favorite classic monsters, the Carrion Crawler. This has always been a favorite monster of mine for using in encounters in sewers, caves, and catacombs. It's great for protecting your dungeons because it can scale in size from small to huge, and it has a face full of jellyfish tentacles that can paralyze an entire party of adventurers before they can do a single point of damage to it, and are otherwise just perfect stupid eating machines. Pricing the miniatures out, I found that, again, prices are just too high for the miniatures, and also too limited when it comes to sizes. So I'm going to make a huge Carrion Crawler for pennies, and you can scale it to whatever size you want. To start, I'm going to take a piece of soft garden wire and cut it to the length I want for this base. I'm doing my crawler coiling around the base, but you could bend the wire into whatever shape you want your monster to be in. You could do it long or climbing up the wall or whatever you need. When I have the wire, I want to start adding the body. I had a lot of ant bodies left over from the Rust Monster episode when I was making rust grubs. So for the body, I took a headless ant and glued it to the end of the wire. Now I want to keep adding segments with legs along the length of the wire to form the body. You may recognize the technique from my spider confetti centipedes. This is just more of the same, a more advanced version. Some of the legs may overlap too much with the other legs in the body segments, so it's okay to trim off legs that don't fit. Just keep adding segments of legs until you get the length that you like. For the paralytic tentacles, I snipped the legs off of a plastic spider. And for the head, I snipped the head off of a plastic beetle with a nice big pincher. I drilled some holes underneath the jaws and started adding tentacles. And for the eye stalks, I chose the spider fangs and stuck them on the top of the head, then added two 3mm beads to the tips. When the glue is dry, you can start arranging your monster on the base. The wire will help make it very flexible so you can continue to bend it even after you've added the segment. But you will probably end up with some gaps where the wire shows, and that's okay because you saved those extra ant legs, so all it takes is a little glue and you can cover up the gaps with the extra legs. I like to glue this big monster to the base with E6000, and when the gel sets, I use super glue to glue individual legs to the rocks to make it look like it is crawling and leaning towards the next rock. For fun, I decorated this base with skeleton bits, but that is totally optional. Then some Mod Podge, Prime, and a slimy paint job, and here is the finished Carrion Crawler. As you can see, this is a nice big monster to take on a small party with, but you could easily use smaller bugs or less segments to make a typical crawler, or use bigger bugs to make an even more gargantuan carrion crawler. The price for this one, it was 5 pennies for the spider, 5 pennies for the beetle, 8 pennies for the ants, a penny for the base, and 4 pennies for art supplies, so 23 pennies each, or 4 for $1. And there we have another classic monster for far less than the store-bought price. This technique can also be used for a whole host of other D&D bug monsters, so let your imagination go crazy and save some big bucks. And don't forget to smack that like and subscribe button to get more ways to save a bundle on miniatures. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time for more minis for pennies.